I was holding back a little bit on my excitement level for the NFL season because I just didn't want to be excited and then have COVID-19 pull the rug out. And, who knows what's going to happen. But so far, we're entering the season with the NFL creating 32 bubble worlds at every facility and every stadium. And we have yet to have one team from one bubble play another team from another bubble. And hopefully both of them are so clean that when they're on top of each other and the vectors cross in a significant way, we separate and go back to the bubbles and everything is fine. That's the issue. We spoke to Greg Olson yesterday. The issue also being travel. Nobody's traveled yet. Nobody's had to get on a plane en masse or two planes, if that's what the NFL is saying, that you need to social distance enough within your own world. Two planes go to the same spot, go to the same hotel. Nobody picks it up from anybody. Nobody goes out. Play a game. Go home. And when you go home, no vectors are brought in from schools or families or friends. Everybody's smart. Nobody goes out. Everybody stays home. Everybody goes back to work. They're tested. They're clean. Let's do it again. 17 straight times. Who was it who came on, Chris? I forget who it was over the last week. Could have been, was it Kittle? I forget. Mentioned the bye weeks. The bye weeks are going to be potentially dicey, like when you send everyone home, where people are not at the facility every day, getting tested every day, and it's a bye week. What happens then? Will everybody take care of their business? You take a look at what Oklahoma football did. Lincoln Riley had everyone on campus, sent them home. They came back, and the COVID was far worse. And I was holding back on it. I was definitely holding back on fantasy. If you notice, we haven't spoken fantasy very much until last Friday and today. Because to me, what indicates a lack of awareness more than to talk about who might get more catches and who might do this when COVID might wipe the whole damn thing out. Yep. But now I'm beginning, now that I've got a couple of draft positions, I'm beginning to get those juices flowing, and I'm excited about it.
Totally the same.
I'm excited about it. And there's a lot of rumors flying now about Big Ten football. Tons of rumors flying right now. They're either coming back today, or they're coming back next month, or they're coming back in Thanksgiving, or they're just going to punt it.
Yeah, Albert tweeting out the eyes.
Albert's tweeting out the eyes. Let me see. Albert and every The Ohio State fan, Albert Breer you're referring to, every The Ohio State fan I know is rip blank over the Big Ten decision. I mean, and it's kind of crazy. I have been exposed to the Ohio State Buckeye football world now since 1986. Again, grew up in New York City, had no idea about the intensity of Big Ten football. None. I mean, if you grew up in New York City, you were either a fan, and this is in the 80s, you were either a fan of Penn State,
right?
Which at the time, if you remember, it was independent. Mm-hmm. Penn State was independent. Syracuse might pop the bubble.
It certainly good in the 80s.
Certainly wasn't Rutgers. And then, of course, like Mike Del Tufo, Notre Dame fans were all over the place. Notre Dame fans. All over the place.
Yep.
Because they were fraudulent. Like you.
Wow.
But I was exposed to it in 1986 for the first time when a brash senior quarterback guaranteed victory and beat the Ohio State after Bo Schembechler went crazy about it. That'll be Jim Harbaugh. And I was exposed, and everyone sort of taught me about the 10-year war between Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler, and I was into it, and I know how much it means to everyone in the Big Ten country about football. But not until it was removed by the school presidents, I guess by a vote of 11-3. Did you see that? It wasn't two teams that voted to play. It was three, and the Big Ten made that public because the Nebraska players and their parents have sued the Big Ten over this.
Right.
So I wonder if the third school we know Nebraska said let's play.
Yes.
They still haven't said who the other two are. It sure sounds like the Ohio State was one of them, and certainly
it might be Michigan too.
I don't know.
Jim's been pretty out there.
I don't think it's not Jim. It's the school president. And again, that's why people are dumping on Kevin Warren, the Big Ten commissioner, hard, in a way that it's not being dumped on Larry Scott of the Pac-12, who announced the next day, whatever is on all over the Big Ten, from the president to school presidents getting bashed by 11, I guess, fan bases. Whatever pressure is on the Big Ten, the Pac-12 is not at all.
Pac-12's not playing.
We had David Shaw on
I know.
8 days ago, the head coach of Stanford football. We had on 8 days ago. And he is on the committee that is aware of all the health conversations, that is headed up in part by Dr. Hainline, who was on our program, right? From the NCAA, the chief medical officer. I asked David Shaw, I almost went royally right here. I asked David Shaw to start 8 days ago. Do you agree with the decision by the Pac-10 and by the Pac-10, Pac-12 and the Big Ten? The word he said was unequivocally. Said all the issues. He mentioned there were 6 points that were so unanswered medically and scientifically that they would be derelict to put kids in a position of playing football. I'm imagining that hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is testing potentially being cheaper and more available. This new Abbott test that I keep hearing. Honestly, Ohio State fans say the word Abbott more than Costello ever did to me in the last week, since this Abbott rapid test that takes 15 minutes and costs $5 was apparently approved an emergency basis by the FDA. I've read up on it. It doesn't answer every question about testing.
Right.
And I have no idea how you even get it. Do you? Does anybody? I'm imagining the Big Ten would. And one of the rumors that's out there is that the White House called up the Big Ten and said, we want to help you from our stockpile. Haven't heard any rumors about the Pac-12 on that. You know the reason why that might be? Is because there's not a lot of swing states in the Pac-12. This is what everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, Trump just tweeted about meeting with Kevin Warren.
I have no idea if it's going to happen, but I've just learning that Ohio. This means and I can't say that that's the reason why Ohio State's won. You know how many? I don't even know how many it is in a row against my alma mater.
16.
Because it meant just as much to them. Football meant just as much to the Buckeye Nation when John Cooper was the coach, or when Tom Brady took care of business against them in 1999. You're all laughing. That's not how long ago it's been since Michigan beat Ohio State.
It's close.
And the fact is that I want Big Ten football in the worst way, but I don't want to be out there and thinking that it's not safe because they can't do it in the same way that the NFL is.
You guys last won in 2011, Rich.
Brady Hoke was a coach. Luke Fickell, I think, was taken over as the interim.
That was the last year Ohio State hasn't been in the top 10.
Yeah, I know Urban came in and kind of changed things.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I have no idea if they're coming back, but the NFL, I'm all in. I'm excited. And things are different. Things are going to be different. It's going to look different. The sideline will look different. That's what I'm told. Everything's going to look different. There's no cheerleaders. There's no nothing.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be
and
weird.
I'm imagining they're going to use the entire sideline to distance. And then, and like in baseball, all the concepts, when put into practice, might not actually be put into practice. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.